I'm gonna keep my earphones off so I look like Memphis Bleak.
Man, you ever listen to Freeway's first album?
Nope.
Ah, so good, bro.
good.
You got to go back.
I don't have to.
Yeah, you do.
I promise I don't.
Then I don't respect hip hop.
I don't. You ever get to a place where you like, it's too late for me?
No.
When it comes to movies or music, you go back and listen to it?
I tried to. I went back and listened to Mary J. Blige's albums. I went back and listened to Big Daddy Kane's first albums, Rakim's first albums. Who else did I go back on? I was doing a deep dive because we were on Daddy Issues. It was like, you ain't heard this, you ain't heard this. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back. And I'm going to listen to a bunch of cats. Who else did I go back and listen to? KRS-One.
Yeah, I don't give a damn.
KRS-One gets, he doesn't get the recognition he deserves anymore. He's still respected, but it's not like, he's not in anyone's top that I hear so much. I need to go back and listen to Public Enemy. That's what I need to go back and listen to. Take your album, man. Yeah. Why don't you like going back to listen to people's classics? You watch classic movies?
It bothers me because I was like, I hate that I know where it can go. Like when I went to go watch Citizen Kane, I'm like, this is the one that won all the Oscars. It's great cinematography, but I was like, oh man, this is so dated. And I was like, I get it. 1949, this was incredible.
He said it's dated.
It's like,
I tried to watch Casablanca, and I just remember it being a boring movie.
Yeah.
But I remember like
won a lot of awards, right?
I remember people loved it, and I was like, I gotta go. I gotta give it another try eventually. But I was also a very young, ignorant person. I was like, this is in black and white.
Right. That's how I felt about Godfather, man. I'm sorry.
You're tripping. You're tripping.
I'm sorry. The first one was really boring to me.
Ah, you're tripping.
I know. People hate me for it. I tried it.
You're crazy.
Yeah. Hey, man.
And that second one is...
I didn't like it.
They're so good, man. Fear of a Black Planet was my fave PE. Changed my life back then. I was the most militant elementary school teacher. Elementary schooler. Swatches are a type of watch, and the commercial was people sync them. And...
So, when is a good time to watch slavery movies?
What do you mean?
Like if you had the option of watching a Disney Pixar movie, a Marvel movie, a rom-com, a documentary, or a slave movie, like when is the good time to be like, hey, sweetheart, I see all these other options. Well, let's watch this. When do you think is the perfect time to watch a slave
Not on a date.
That's what I'm saying, yo.
Not on a Netflix and chill.
I know what I'm saying. It's like slave movies are so specific, man. It's like, well, it's Black History Month. I guess we gotta kind of do this, right? Like I was like, I don't even know how like black oppression has ever been a selling tool of like, man, I do want to know the story.
All oppression has been a selling tool.
But I don't know how it's like, how are you in competition with a Marvel film? Like, hey man,
Wait till the Pixar slave movie comes out. It's just called Slaves. There's little talking cotton balls.
Yeah.
It's about a cotton ball who wants to be picked and who meets a slave trying to run away, and they try to make it.
I want to be somebody. I want to be a shirt, Mom. I want to be some pants.
We're not. We're jean people. I don't know.
I just want to know how. Like, why does it keep selling? Why do you want to watch it?
Yeah.
That's what. Like I know it's an audience. I know people always say, man, we got to remember our history. I'm just thinking like if it was an option of like, all right, baby, which one to watch? We got Incredibles 3. We have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We have Notebook 3. And we have...
I think that's a good time to watch it. That's a good time to be like, oh, you know what? You never seen Amistad? You got to watch this movie. It's crazy. Like they're good movies to watch, though.
Sure. But this is the best option.
I don't think it's being a best option. I think it's just like oh man, I wanted you to see this movie, or like, oh, there's this movie coming out. You just gotta watch it. I don't think you set a date and time. I don't
That's
think
what I'm saying.
it's the best.
It's never the first option for me. That's like, I want to feel good, man. I want to be like.
So when do you go watch it? So when do you go watch it?
I don't. That's what I'm trying to say, Chaz. I watch it on the accident. I watch it when it's on Prime TV, on CBS, TNT.
Dion, how many of these quote unquote slave movies have you seen?
I seen them all.
Which ones?
We can go backwards. I see Emancipation, which just came out with Will Smith. I seen.
So how are all these accidents?
As in. So there's an option of how I watch movies, right? I'm not gonna tell you how I watch movies. And when all my other options are exhausted, I'm like, well, Will Smith is a good draw. Let's see if he had the potential to follow up his Oscar with this movie, but due to unforeseen circumstances, he won't get it now. So let me watch this movie, see if he had it. And I'm like, it's like, gosh, dude, this movie was just all right. But at the same time, it's like, I hate watching these movies, dude. Because it's like, I know there's a white person who's like, oh, I just need me a slave movie so I can get my rocks off. How many of these actors like, God, I just want to act for this specific reason?
Why does it have to be for white people and not for us telling these stories?
We know what happened.
Yeah, but how many people's stories aren't told? There's millions of stories of different slaves who, not even slaves, of captives who have a story and whose story is silenced.
Tell me, be very creative right now, all right? What slave story you can tell me right now that has not been said right now? Just be creative.
Wait.
I'm not asking very specific. I'm not asking like a true story. I'm telling you, what could be a slave story that hasn't been told?
Well, I wouldn't tell a made-up story.
No, I'm just saying, like, I've seen them all. I've seen every scenario. It's either a slave who was taken advantage of and escaped. It was a slave who needs to go back and get his family to escape. There was a slave who...
You never seen a movie about a slave who
wasn't
owned
a
slaves?
Slave. Huh?
You ever seen a movie about a slave who owned slaves?
I haven't seen that, but why is that important?
It's not. You just said make up something.
I hear, but you just said we all got stories to, to learn about.
Yeah, so why not share stories of people who didn't have a voice?
Why is that important?
Why is the stories of people who've been silenced important?
No, as in, like, hey, we need to know that there were black people who had slaves. So is that inspiring to say, yeah, we should get our own black people to
No, I just said something random.
Right.
That example.
But going off the top of you had said everybody has a story that needs to be told. Everybody needs a story that, of the silent.
Yeah, there's entire communities. Even like we talk about Wall Street. How many Black Wall Street? You know how many Black Wall Streets there are? Of entire black cities and towns that have been buried and murdered, and there's a bunch of screaming voices that we'll never get to hear who never got their story because they've been buried under lies and history and politics. And it's like all these people have a story, and then we don't even get the education for ourselves. So I was like, there's a ton of things that we'll never know, and especially at a time now where you have Trump who's trying to kill history. You're trying to have it be where slavery never existed and all these things didn't happen that were, genocide. And even more now, I'm like, these stories are important because they're trying to silence the history. It's like all these things, now that Columbus is known as a villain and he was a hero for the longest, but that truth and those stories that people never get to tell, those are important. They're very important. And the fact that we don't really have, it bothers me when black people go, I don't want to see another slave movie. But I go like, you know how many World War II movies there are? You know how many movies there are about concentration camps and Jewish people? I'm like, there's a ton of movies about Italian mobs, and how many more mafia movies are there that we have to watch? Or movies that are about the prohibition in the 1920s. I go, there's a ton of these movies that keep getting recycled, but when it comes to the movies on our stories, people are like, I don't want to see another one. It's like, we're going to silence ourselves and the stuff that we had to overcome, and and the heroes who never got a chance to have the opportunity to have their name recognized. Like, we're not going to go champion them, or are these inventors? We come up with Black History Month. We had so many inventors. Like, this is the guy who invented floss, right? Like, everybody comes out the woodwork of what we invented. So it's like, well, do you guys want these stories or we don't want these stories? Do you want to know about these people or we don't want to know about these people? Like, what are we choosing here?
Yeah, I enjoy to be inspired. But when it comes to slavery, it's like, what is inspiring about this?
It's not about inspiring. It's about telling the truth and telling these stories. There's a lot of stuff that I have watched that I don't go like, man, I can't believe this is a true story. You can watch Schindler's List and be like, that's crazy. I'm not out like, I'm ready to fight. But I'm like,
what
damn.
happens afterwards?
You learn.
You get informed, right?
Yeah, you learn. And it even gives you a different perspective of going forward, people have to overcome and what they had to go through. When Jewish people talk about how much they are hated and around the world, and the more research and more I learn, I go like, it's all of it is terrible. All the genocide, even learn about Armenian genocide. I go like, this is a ton of information stuff out here that.
But you moving the goalpost though.
I'm not.
Listen. You said how many mob stories can you have? How many World War II stories? Like, these are not oppressions to a certain set of people. Slavery is.
Jewish stories are those about the concentration camps. There's a bunch of those movies. There's a bunch of movies that are based on the concentration camps.
I know Schindler's List and probably Anne Frank, right? But we talking about, they do this often with black slave movies.
They do it often with those movies as well.
I don't know any of the Jewish
because you're not in that community. But if you were, you would know a bunch.
I'm sure Jewish people are like, okay, that's enough.
Of what?
We don't need to see this no more.
Well,
tell me
they say Jewish people run Hollywood. I haven't seen none of these movies still being made. They're still being made. They're still being made in a large portion. Mm-hmm. They're not going away.
Listen, so if rape and pillage obviously is a thing, this is a very sad situation. If your parent or mom, sister has been raped before, and it's like, hey, we gotta keep making these movies because this is how Native Americans happen. It's like, all right, man, we've seen this happen. This is important. This is how white people took over, the Native Americans. All right, man, we got it. We know what happened. It was like, no, y'all need to know what happened in Nebraska. We need to see the specifics of what happened. We need to see the actual assault. It's like, can we just kind of like have like a rumor of it? What happened? Like, no. Y'all got to see the whips. Y'all got to see it.
You have to see it.
How many rape and pillage movies have we seen?
It doesn't matter. There's a new generation born all the time, right? And who information gets more watered down and more watered down. And you do need these reminders because you do need to know what America was built on, because they want to hide it from you.
Why aren't there no Native American? I know there's yours, but like I can't. They have more slavery movies than the colonization of white people to Native American.
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know a ton of Native American movies, but I don't know that they're not out there. You know what I mean?
And you got to be a sick white person to be like, I need more of my ancestors.
I feel like you're looking at it way differently.
Yes, because they're cooking.
What do you mean?
Because I look at it like I'm certain that black people are not funding this, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
There's a white person that's like, I like this. And I feel like it's kind of sick. It feels like this is the creator of Top Ramen. Like their person is like, this is not good for my people, but I'm going to feed it to them and they're going to eat it right up.
I took this white girl on a date once, right? I forgot what movie we were going to go see, but the trailer for Selma came up, okay? With Martin Luther King.
White girl?
Yeah. The trailer for Selma came up, and they're fighting and they're beating him. And she's like, oh my God, that happened? And I was like, this is why it's important, because she was never taught in her household, and it swept under the rug. She went to Calabasas High School, and she never saw or knew this stuff happened in real time. She has a very different perspective of the world, and they need to understand. They need to know. So great if white people go watch it. Great, go watch it. Go see historically what you've done to these people, and you wonder why black people are angry, why they're doing this and why they're doing that. And you can see the legit systematic oppression that was built around black people. You can see it. And for a lot of minorities. I just heard something today about they were shooting Willy Wonka in Germany, right? and they had to get dwarves from different areas because there weren't any dwarves in Germany. You know why?
Why?
Because the Nazis killed all the dwarves in the area because they weren't the perfect species. And I go like, man, no one's ever gonna know the story of how many dwarves were murdered for nothing, for being born differently, right? But now they're executed. And I go like, no one would ever know that. I saw that randomly on Instagram. No one would ever know. Their story deserves to be told.
Is it told?
No, that story is not told. I just heard of it today. It's not worldwide enough. It is not like, look what they're doing to dwarves. And it's like, no one's saying to have a million dwarf march, right? But you're saying that like, here are people who have not been acknowledged in what they had to suffer through. You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem. That's a travesty when you don't get a chance to have a voice. So when somebody says, hey man, I'm going to champion you, I'm going to be the voice for you guys, I'm going to make sure you have an outlet to tell your story. That's super important. It's like, how many times do you get a chance to actually tell your story and be like, this is actually what I went through, and this is how I survived it, and this is how I overcome, and you let people take from it what they can take from it. And I think that's like super valuable, whether it's sad or drama. People watch dramas all the time. People watch whole murder-thons of shows. You know what I mean? So I go like, these stories, man, they're pertinent. Pertinent.
So you think people should get their history through cinema?
It's part of it. It's part of it. That's a part of getting your history. It's just another medium. A book's a medium, you know. Yeah. A book doesn't necessarily mean it's the right history. It just means there's a medium that someone put it into. Yeah.
Hey man. And then Moyo said, dude, if she didn't know it by now, it's not because of the lack of movies.
It's your environment. It's your environment. Calabasas ain't out here trying to do Black History Month. Yeah. They actually heard it was called Cala Blacklist.
It's funny. That's funny.
It is funny. I said, oh, that's a good one.
That's great. Twilla said Chad's out here cooking. No,
cooking, baby.
No.
Talking Strickland slave. What's that?
A little bigger.
What's Strickland slave movie? Strictly? Inventors and life stories are different. Those are movies about overcoming. Most slave movies are often just trauma porn. I feel like there's a ton of movies like that are quote unquote trauma. There's a bunch of movies of women surviving domestic abuse or surviving rape, and there are a ton of movies like this.
I like to watch movies to be inspired, right? I like feel good movies. I like to have an outcome. I don't like when it's like, one I think about right now is like a whole hour and 10 minutes of verbal and physical abuse, and it was like, I'm sick of this. We have to overcome and kill Master. Let's start a revolution. Burn the place down. They have a whole little revolution, and then, Master shot us. But you know what? I'm thinking of the Nate Jackson. Nate was, and it was like, man, y'all almost had it, man. And it was like, we leave this mug like, we almost did it, y'all. He did it. He had a whole little crew, and he almost did it. Damn, no white people. Well,
you don't think Nat Turner's story is important?
Yes, he had a revolution.
Like, I mean, you don't think it's important?
It's important, but why? Why do we have to? What's the message from that?
What's the what?
What's the message from that?
You got nothing from it?
I'm asking you.
Oh, I'm asking you.
I know what I got from it.
Okay, what'd you get from it? Nothing.
No, like stand up for what you want, right? But at the same time, it's like you are a rebel. You are a martyr. You became a martyr. Like his name obviously rings until 2025, but who lives, who dies, who tells the story?
What happens? I don't think they're gonna automatically bring slavery around all of a sudden, right? I don't think things are this extreme. But however, are you not willing to die for your freedom? Is a question. Malcolm X said, if you was it Malcolm X? If you let me mess up the quote. If you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, right? So what's the point where you draw the line and go like, oh, I'd rather die than go through this? What's that point? I go like, there's a ton of standards and a ton of strong people who came before us to get us. We live an easy life. I came down here on a freeway on off electricity. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's millions of people who died to get us inch by inch here. And to not tell their story is crazy. At any point of time, to not tell their story is crazy to me. I was like, why would you not want these people to see what they went through and their hardship? So you can be super thankful and glad that somebody was strong enough to pass on their strength to you, so you can present. And you're supposed to take it further. Cats are so comfortable, right? But like our whole journey is supposed to take it further. Each generation is supposed to get better and better,
right?
And I'm like, but you don't realize your roots, and you don't take hold, and you let time pass, and you forget. You become indoctrinated, and that's what's happening.
Hypocrite.
How?
Why aren't you writing slave movies then?
I don't have a inspiring slave movie for lack.
Why don't you have any black oppression movies, yo?
I have a movie about the Harlem Renaissance. Huh?
I guarantee it's spliced with comedy.
What's wrong with that?
Because you're going to find ways like, what if?
What's wrong with that? Is that a problem, though?
No, you could do it. You pretty much
Tarantino made up his own spoof slave movie, and people went to go watch it and drove. I don't think there's anything wrong. If I had an idea.
I like that idea because there's a fictional story. I know the idea of like we should have real stories, but it's like I need the fictional version of it of like I need a superhero Back to the Future sort of change the history slavery thing, as in like, listen, we can go back and get them instead of them getting us.
There's going to be a time that comes down that people are going to forget or try to forget about Malcolm X. And you know who's... You
didn't hear nothing I just said. I hate you just like, I got a thought in my head. I'm going to say this. Like, you just like, as soon as you get done talking, I'm going to say this. Because that was a fire idea. You said, there's going to come a time when Malcolm X can't stand up Chaz, dude. You're a sick human being. What I think it depends on how a story is told. We got to do better than trauma porn, but the stories are overwhelming. A slavery story doesn't always have to be purely trauma porn, but white directors don't make black revolt movies. There's not many revolt movies though, especially since there have been many successful revolts. More successful than Nate Turner. Okay, Helmets. Yeah. Why do you?
Does it make a difference if I don't know? I forgot the dude's name from Haiti who led the revolution. But great example. He should be a household name, and I don't know his name. Who led Haiti to their own freedom? Do you know his name?
Say it again.
This is what remember Chris Rock's top 5. You're hilarious. Remember Chris Rock's top 5? He was supposed to be doing a movie about him, Tucson. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know if there is actually a movie about him or not, but he should have a movie.
Right.
Should he not?
Sure. I like the idea of, that's what I'm talking about. I don't like no one person got away. Like, it's still slavery. We're still in this mud. I like the idea of changed. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. Like 12 Years a Slave, like, man, this dude was a normal person and was a slave for 12 years and got back out, and it's like...
So you like 12 Years a Slave?
No, what I'm saying is like I want something to like a real revolution that changes the world. Like it has to be fiction or something like that. Like Harriet was just like, she got away. Slavery still happened. It's like
I feel like there's a little more to that story. So the time she then came back and got other people out.
Yeah, but she didn't stop slavery.
She got people free. What you want her to do?
I'm saying they're still in it though. It's like,
what did you want her to do?
This was like saying, imagine living in the junkyard, right? There's hundreds of thousands of people buried in this junkyard. Mm-hmm. Hundreds of thousands. It's like, I saved 100. And it was like, still other people in there, man. Like, but hey, I saved 100. Great. But we're still in it.
Okay, so how come those other 100 can't go save 100?
Sure, but what I'm saying is like it's still in it though. Like it's like it wasn't like it stopped. Like I changed the world.
This is the idea of it being a generational thing, right? It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a gang of people. It took, and this is what I'm saying. It took so many people to get us here, and to go like, I'm not gonna tell their stories because it makes me sad.
Love Django.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good fake one.
I know, I loved it. That's why I said I need like I said earlier, which you was totally ignored. It's like I need somebody who's like, hey man, I don't like that we're in slavery. It is like a superhero something like we can go back in time and before they got inspired to take us, we can take them to give them a taste of their own medicine. And now it's like I need superpowers. I need mutants in slavery.
Can you not have both?
They don't have it. I'm tired of it.
Well, I'm asking, can you not have both? Can you have both of these genres out there?
You can't say you can't have both if we only have one.
You can write that one.
Sure.
Okay, so can we not have both?
I would love that. I would love a revolt like listen, when the time is right, we have to give all our people the power, and then when the time is right, we're going to reverse all this. And now, as soon as you try to whip our backs, we get stronger. That's all you got.
You guys are soft. You guys are soft people. Oh, the trauma porn. Oh, I was gonna want to watch this. Softies, all of you. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I don't want to watch what my people went through, so I don't have to go through it with them, even though they all did it, and I don't get a chance to. Because they did it for me.
I think here's
Hapui to you, hapui to you, hapui to you.
Here's where I look at it like I care about black people, and I visually like, God, I hate seeing this. I know it happened. I hate seeing it. The analogy I want you to understand is like, imagine a bunch of children getting molested, and we gotta watch this. Like this, this happened like 200 years, and they keep showing us like, golly, man, who's doing this? Like, why? Why are these creepy old white men is doing this? Like, yo, this is part of our history, man. We gotta watch this. It's like, God, this is disgusting. It's like, and nobody came to save them. It's like, well, it was this one dude, Nate Brown, who saved 5 of the girls.
Or they saved themselves. They fought and they fought and they fought to change things for children all the way down the line.
But it still happened. It still existed.
Well, it's history.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like what I'm saying in my analogy is like I don't like to see it. I'm not inspired. I'm saying I'm not encouraged. And it's like I hate that it's happened. Just like the whole thing, even though it happened with Jesus, it's like, golly, people were stubborn. I don't even like to hear the story again. I know it happened. Like Passion of the Christ, I'm like, whoo. Like have you seen that? Mm-hmm. When they had that mug went into his back and ripped it, I was like, man, it's been times like, oh, come on, I gotta fast forward this. I know it happened. I read it numerous times. I don't need to see this again.
Why not? Because here's what it does. You go like, damn, this dude went through all that for me.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I'll be sitting out here. So let me be thankful. Let me get my prayers on. Right? Mm-hmm. So I can say, man, you don't see some things or you think of some things until that's a crazy visual.
Crazy visual.
To see what that does. It was the same when you saw a slave get whipped in the back. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
You go like, this is all for you. Mm-hmm. Like, this is all for you. Everybody took this shit for you. Mm-hmm. And you can't watch them suffer? They actually suffered. We just sitting here watching. You be like, let me fast forward to your pain.
Could you watch children porn?
But, yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
why not?
Not a pedophile.
Well,
what do you mean?
Like, hey, this is a true story, man. You got to know the story of this little girl. She became Michelle Obama.
I can watch a movie about a child getting molested, but I'm not going to watch them actually do something to a child.
But what if there was a part of a concentration camp and the 9 little girls who was 5, 6, 7, 8,
am I watching some man
became powerful people?
That's different than watching the act. Am I watching the act of a pedophile?
Why not? Because their back is
because then you actually need a child to get pedoed to do this thing.
You just see the back of it and you hear the noise.
Come on. That's not something I don't think that's happened before. There's horrible scenes in there when the guy stands over a child or something like that. Those things are out there. I've read horrible books about molestation for people. There was this book called The Boy Called It. Anybody remember this? The Boy Called It. Horrible book.
The Boy Called It.
Or A Boy Called It. But there's a lot of these stories, and there's a lot of those things. I don't think those are unusual. People watch SUV. What's this shit? SVU. Sound old. SUV. And it's nothing but horrible stuff that happens to people all the time.
Yeah.
Every night. And you get some people, some of them watch trauma porn, but will watch documentaries of murders, and they'll watch documentaries of SA victims and marathons. And that's not trauma porn? But I'm the hypocrite. Okay.
What last slave movie you saw?
Probably 12 Years a Slave.
You are a hypocrite.
But I also saw,
You are a hypocrite then.
Why?
Because that movie came out like 12 years ago.
I mean, I don't know what other movies are out there.
Why aren't you watching them?
And then I didn't see Emancipation. What was I don't know when the Nat Turner story came out. I don't think it was called the Nat Turner story, but I don't remember when his movie came out. He should have had a different ending to those. That's my problem, was the ending with that one.
Of 12 Years a Slave?
Yeah, even the part where he gets caught, that's fine, but turn up. Yeah, I never watched Passions for the Reason, just graphic for no reason, read the Bible, and then make the necessary changes. Black people have gotten trauma from constantly watching unharmed police-involved killings, so we gotta be cautious of how much we consume things. Man, all that is important to me, man. All that is important to me. All those people need a story, bro. All those people need their own movie. They all need a story, and it's always a constant reminder of, look what this person went through. We need this reform. Don't get lazy. Don't get complacent. It's like, that's what happens all the time. People get complacent. They start getting indoctrinated and stuff. It's what they teach in these schools. It's what they're trying to do in every single state, is indoctrinate these kids to believe that they are quote unquote Americans, and they're not, and they're being treated equally, and they are not.
Let me tell you something, man. I'm a person that will say I get it and I apologize, and I'm like, man, I do feel bad. CMD said some stuff that was like, that's real. As in, like, when I see police brutality, I watch it and I'm like, gosh, dude. But I'm not like, if this is the same as slave movies, because it's true story. When people get beat up or shot, killed, stabbed, wrongfully accused, I spread it. I'm like, yo, y'all got to see this, dude. This is crazy. You know, I'll do all the necessary, like, you know, put the black up, or, you know, the marching and stuff. I remember did the Black Lives Matter march. And I'm like, man, dude, I definitely have shared the videos, like, this is disgusting. So if that's me being pro, but obviously that's not like putting, I think the idea is people put money behind it.
Oh, you gotta produce it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is, because if that, I'm just digesting what just happened, because I'm not like anti.
It's art, man.
Oh, I don't know about art.
What's not art?
I don't think about the police brutality.
No, not that being art. But if somebody makes a painting of police brutality,
right,
and you go, well, is this not art? This is art with a statement. Somebody's gonna buy this thing, right? Somebody become a millionaire off of a police brutality painting, or off a slavery painting, right? Mm-hmm. But you're still telling these stories, and that's the whole idea of it.
But I like the idea. I think the difference between modern day police brutality is there is, even though it keeps happening, and there's a lot of injustice, I think now we have a fight. Like, things can happen. Like, people can get fired. People can get jumped. White people can get beat up. People can retaliate. And slavery was just like, you guys are pets. Mm-hmm. And I think that was like, gosh, we had no fight. And of course, the Nate Turner story was cool. Nat Turner, I'm sorry. Because his name is Nate. Mm. So I think it's cool, but at the same time, it's like, God, we were children. They was like, what you gonna do, boy? And I'm like, oh. Like, imagine like a owner, just pun intended, an NFL owner telling him to, like, you know, sit down. Sorry, boss. You know, sorry. He's 400 pounds, 6'9", on the line. Get on the bench. Think about what you did. You dropped the ball. Sorry, boss. It's like, you can crush him.
A little different.
How is it different?
Because he's not in slavery.
That's what I'm saying. I said, imagine. But that's what pretty much was. I'm sure we were towering over these people.
Sure.
They was like, we can't do nothing because he's my master. I don't want to get killed. My kids is watching this, and it made us feel inferior.
You know what's great for me? I think about this all the time. I think about how many people had to bow their head and say, "Yes, sir, I'm sorry," when they were not in the wrong.
Golly,
and I love being able to be like, "Hey, man, this ain't 1800s, fam. You get fucked up over here."
That's what I'm saying.
But it doesn't happen without them. It doesn't happen without them. Every single right and every single thing that we get to do, every time you get to go look a white man dead in the eye and shake his hand, and you get to go do whatever you want, is 100% because of what everybody else went through. Mm-hmm. But I hate the idea of not telling these stories or not. There should be more and more.
I need to create a slavery heist. As in, we're gonna kill every plantation, and being successful at it. Like, I need a group of espionage, like elite fighter, sneaky slaves. That's like, listen, we're going to kill every single last one of
them. Like a group, like a hit squad group.
Yeah, and it's like they came from the north.
I wanted to make this a slave zombie movie.
All right, that'd be fun. Because now they can't die.
Well, it's always just kind of like this land is haunted by, the people who you guys tormented. And until you make things right, this land is going to be haunted. And they will come and they come and they find you because of all the wrong they've done. It's like an Indian burial ground.
I ain't gonna hold you, man.
I don't think it was
a slave zombie movie.
When you say a slave zombie movie, it sounds bad, but there's a bigger idea behind it. It's not just in chains, but it's great visual.
Man, just imagine them whipping them. He's whipped. Like, you think it's gonna hurt me?
And they're gonna try to shoot him, and they're like, no. And then you have some little median lady who's like, they're upset, and you got to find a way to calm these spirits. And it's like they'll never be calm. But man, did you ever hear about that town? I can't remember what it was called, but it was like it's been flooded, and they say that you can hear, like, if you're on this lake, you can hear all the souls and stuff. Like, you can hear screams still.
Oh boy!
I go like, man, and there's so many stories like that. I just heard one about Oregon, about a town that was burned down. How many people have been burned in churches, bro, or bombs? Like, voiceless people, man. You don't even get their names. Like that whole lynching museum that they have. When they have all the names, as many as they can, about people who've been lynched and why they've been lynched, that's important. Mm-hmm. That's important, bro.
Why aren't you writing a movie?
Of what?
I think this is your next project, Mr. This is important.
Like I said, when there's an idea and I go like, oh, that's clear. That's what I do. When something's clear to me, I go like, oh, I got it. But I don't have the idea. They're just, they don't have the story. They're just ideas now. Fruitvale Station was art. Damn right it was. Yeah, you didn't want to see that? You watch Fruitvale Station? Coon. You didn't see Fruitvale Station?
I did see it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that was Ryan Coogler's first movie.
It was a great movie, man.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Black hates black people.
I do.
Why is that everybody just goes? Just say you hate black women. It's like, come on, man. There was a lot of fight back in slavery. The stories are just not mainstream, but us having cameras today, media helps today. I feel you 100%. I don't think it was the killing. I think it was the things they did without killing us, things they did to our women and male figures we looked up. Man, that's like the Seminole War, Dion, that you're describing. Wait, what part was it, the Seminole War?
What am I describing?
Maybe
we're talking about the person who's like, hold on. If they had, this would be a double one. If Native Americans, that sounds like Seminole is Native, right? Mm-hmm. If Native Americans was like, I see what these white people had done to us. Mm-hmm. Let's save all these black people. Mm-hmm. And they got the bow and arrows. Mm-hmm. They pretty much killing all the white people. That's a great ass story. Because now there's two oppressed people killing white people.
Is that the point?
Yes.
Okay. Does that make you feel better? They go kill white people?
I like vigilantes.
Okay.
Cause it's like, hey man, we were living like this the entire time. But listen, we figured this out.
That's how race wars start.
Nigga.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's the same thing happened with Django, created by a white dude. Mm-hmm. I want to look up the Seminole War. Cause if it was, cause I'm sure Native Americans was like, I don't like this. Mm-hmm. We went away. We went up north to hide, but now they got people of our hue, darker people that's even in the worst scenario. Mm-hmm. They are enslaving them.
Yeah. Dude, there's so many stories. There's so many stories in just the Caribbeans that aren't told, in South America that aren't told. Brazil alone was a whole port for slavery. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, there's so many untold souls, bro, who just are nameless.
I need mutants to be. Okay. Why did mutants just come all of a sudden in the 90s? No, we need mutants early. Why can't we have? Come on, Marvel, let's go back. Remember, mutants was a puberty.
Some of a sort, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we got that. We got to go back to the origin. Remember, Apocalypse? They skipped over a whole.
That movie was terrible.
No, I'm talking about that. Ain't anybody talking about the movie. I'm talking about Apocalypse, the mutant, the first mm-hmm. mutant. Mm-hmm. He was back in Pyramid days, yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So there's he obviously he was the first mutant. So there's a whole bunch of mutants they just skipped over.
He could have stopped slavery.
Huh?
He could have stopped slavery.
Absolutely.
But he did not.
Right. We need to remake the Bible with mutants in it.
Okay. That's a book I'd read.
That's a good what?
That's a book I'd read. Make it a comic book.
Right. We need that, man.
Jesus would be crazy.
Jesus would be watered down. It's like, man.
Nah, he'd be the most powerful one, bro.
No, because if there's a dude that can disappear, if there's a dude that can fly, them like that walk in the water is light work. You change the water to wine, hey man, I got somebody named Nightcrawler that can disappear.
But I feel like Jesus would be like, oh, y'all thought that was something. Let me unleash my real power.
Why is he so jealous? Why are you trying to
not jealous, he's kind of like, let me just show you something.
He said, hey y'all see this water? Why? They're like, man, that dude right there can control metal. Look. he is hovering.
But can he walk on water?
Yes, he is. His name is Hydro Man. He is. You see that guy right there with the web?
That's not mutant power though. He made that. Anybody can go make some weapons. Come on now.
Anybody can make some weapons.
I feel like Jesus never got to show his true powers. Because people were so impressed. Because now had it been 22 points, like, hey, water, why you gotta do more than that? He's like, oh, okay. Let me show y'all what I can do. Especially with AI and stuff. Jesus, like everybody, like, no, it's not. I'm telling you. Question: what we got to do to get a superhero zombie time travel mutant slavery movie starring Deion and Chad? I'm not about to make a mockery of slavery. Moyo says, hear me out. By the time Africans came over here, there weren't many Native Americans left. But if they would have used the numbers of Africans with the know-how of the Native Americans of the lands, man-slavery ended.
I don't let man-slavery end mean.
No, slavery is still happening in this country. Tell them, Twills. Tell them, Twills. Tell them. All these people, all these sheep, all these blind sheep walking around here.
You and Twilla need a podcast about One time, me and Twilla came in here. It was pretty much the same dialogue. And we were supposed to close out. We went another whole hour of Twilla just like drilling me. And now we were talking about politics of like, what are you fighting for? it sounded very ignorant on me, but it was just like, listen, man, you were up late fighting for something that Trump is too powerful. Elon Musk is too powerful. He can't do no wrong.
That's the trick, and that's why Cory Booker is talking for 24 hours.
Yes,
that's the trick.
What can they do to Elon Musk?
What do you mean?
What is the best case scenario they can do with him?
Here's what people forget is that people run the country. Mm-hmm. Not Trump, not Elon. People get to decide how much stuff is. We do not.
Right.
Because we are told not to. And there's enough people to follow other rich billionaires But we control, just like right now, how Target is taking this hit and they lost $1 billion, and it's because of the boycott and all that. It's like, this can be done all the time.
Right.
All the time. You can literally shut down Trump. You can literally shut down Elon. Trump can have nothing tomorrow. People don't go to his hotels. People don't buy his stupid books. People don't do whatever else. People don't go vote for him. But there's enough sheep.
Right.
You know?
Right. For sure. But like, you understand, there's more people in the United States who voted for Trump, right? That's one. There's also, Trump has major corporations up under him now. Facebooks, the Twitters, and all these major influential companies and people, 1%ers up under them, who is backing him up. Also, obviously, Elon Musk. You can say, hey, let's cancel Elon Musk. Don't buy his Tesla no more, right? Stop buying it, stop driving it. Obviously, you still
let's slow down, guys, because if they take away those chargers, I'm cooked. So.
Right. So you can definitely cancel, but if 1 billion people stop buying Teslas, it's still rich, right? So it's not like it's not like it's Earl who's saying he's getting canceled.
I don't know how much Elon has on him, money-wise, liquid. But you also remember, most of his money, billions, is in stock. He's valued at that. He doesn't just have it chilling.
Right.
You take away that stock, you plummet his, like Kanye, remember Kanye plummeted from a billionaire overnight? I mean, he only had one, I think, at the time. Not to say only, like it's small, but that takes a big, these dudes, their goals are to be the richest people.
Sure.
That's the goal. It ain't to help nobody. It's just to get richer.
Right.
So you strike with the ego, and they're no longer the richest person.
When all your friends are the top richest people in the world, it's like, yeah, they took away my stocks, man, but thank you, man. Just keep back me up and say, hey, can you just do a little quick ad on your platform about,
They could.
Yeah.
And then it's up to the people.
Right.
It's one person versus millions.
Do you remember when his Teslas went down, his stock went down, and what Trump do?
They put them on the lawn.
put a damn Tesla on and made a commercial, and them went
doing
right back
donuts,
up.
doing donuts,
went right back up. No, this dude is way too powerful, man.
No, there's just people are way too easily influenced.
Right, like I said, there's more people voted,
which is why we need these stories. See what I'm saying? That's why we need these in droves. More slave stories, more. I hate saying slaves. I keep saying there's another word somebody else used before.
Indigent servants?
No, it was a different word, but it was like captives or something like that. Like people who were actually taken. But I hate using slaves because they were stolen people. Slavery of India is what I was trying to say. If NA and Africans joined forces, Native Americans, they had giants, Nephilim, Seraphim, etc. in the Bible.
Yeah, we need mutants.
Nah, I'm a 2% and whole milk doesn't sit well with me. Oh boy.
Hello.
Nah, but that's the risk to his friends because they could take the next hit. Captives, yeah. Yeah, man. I don't like the idea of people saying they don't want to see any more quote unquote slave movies. That bothers me.
But you don't even watch them.
I do watch them. What do you mean?
You said the last movie you saw was 12 Years a Slave.
I don't know how many came out, but I don't know when 12 Years a Slave came out to when.
Why aren't you breaking your
Nat Turner came out? What are you talking about, Lack?
One last slave movie you saw. Let me look it up right now. This got to be April Fool's joke.
What?
When did 12 Years a Slave come out? 2013. Right? So that was right before Django. You haven't watched, have you watched the Underground TV show?
Not the series.
You watch Harriet?
Nope.
Did you watch Free State of Jones?
Never heard of it.
Antebellum?
Oh, with nope.
Joanne Monet?
Is that technically a slave movie?
Hey man, it is sort of.
No, that don't count.
Well, I'm the most recent slave movies. Emancipation?
Did not.
Alice.
Alice.
Never heard of this
Who's
one.
that?
A film about a young woman who was forced into slavery in the American South.
I've been to. I saw The Help. Does that count?
That's not a slave movie.
I mean, so it's a modern. Well, it's not modern. So a long time ago.
You seen Slave Routes? Hey man, for somebody who said this is important.
It is important.
You haven't broke your neck to go watch these movies.
It is important. I'm not a history major either, but history is important.
This nigga right here, you're a hypocrite.
I'm not a nutritionist, but I know how important it is to eat healthy food.
But apparently you're not listening to it.
Well, I didn't say I went to one. I just said it's important.
This is what it's like right now. Slavery is important. it's vegetables, right? It is a lot of greens, leafy greens, salads, fruits. But then the Marvels are like Cinnabons. It is fun.
I feel like those movies are important as well.
Yeah.
Those movies are all, and there's space for them all. I like I said, I just have the problem with people like I don't want to see anymore, and it's like, yo, how long do you do that before everything is not ever talked about again? How long do you go? Okay, guys, no more slave movies before we forget about it, and then you let other people dictate your stories.
I'm just saying you're a hypocrite, bro. That's what
How am I a hypocrite? Because I haven't seen all the slave movies.
I'm saying it's hypocrite. So let's just say,
Twills.
let's just say, I love to do a poll. If you was like, these 4 movies, and let's just do some B-list, C-list movies, right? You'd be like, hey, let's watch Nicolas Cage's Wicker Man, right?
Okay.
Let's watch, From Justin to Kelly. Right?
Okay.
You remember the movie?
Yeah.
Let's watch, the under Mr. Underpants.
Okay.
Right?
Captain Underpants or something?
Captain Underpants. And then it's like, let's watch 12 Years a Slave, right? These are all like B-list movies. I promise you, people be like, let's watch Wicker Man.
You might be right. It doesn't mean that 12 Years a Slave doesn't deserve a
It's
space.
important, sure, but it's not like I can't wait to watch this.
It doesn't matter if it's like that or not. It's still important.
It's important, but I promise you, if you do a poll,
Did you like math class?
I don't know what it is.
Math class.
Oh, the actual
Math class.
Yeah,
You love math?
I like it because it's absolute.
Because what's absolute?
As in, like, you can't fake it. Like you can.
history.
Well, 5
can-
times
you
0
can
0.
rewrite.
So I guess they can't fake it clearly because they were wrong about that. But whatever.
Oh my God, here we go.
So I'm just saying they faked that one, didn't they?
What I liked about math is it was like you can't fake it. With writing, you can reword it. You can have the subject and predicate flipped around. You can have this reverse.
I hate math class. I hate science. I am well aware how important they were. I didn't go rush to do them. Did very poor in them. In both subjects.
You avoided them.
Well
didn't
aware.
you? You avoided them, didn't you?
I did.
Exactly. That's why people are avoiding slavery.
But I still had to do it and had to learn.
So you're forcing people to watch it.
They should.
in there
You
watching.
should.
Oh man, why is it a punishment for me to watch
Because
this?
it's important, especially for black people.
But I also
Especially
feel like
for black
there's
people.
like a
Tell 'em,
group
12.
of Oscar movies in general that most people just don't watch because they're at a level of, it could be a narrative historical something, or it could just be odd and quirky. A lot of people aren't going to see certain films, but they're held as important and innovative and things like that. You're not mad at them for making those movies.
Are you?
Got me, coach. I would love for you to do it. One's got to go, and there's always one slave movie.
Wait,
Listen.
what? Wait, we're doing what? One's gotta
One's
go.
got to go, and there's 4 movies, and it's always a one slave movie. I guarantee you, like, get these niggas out of here.
The Department of Education is doing that right now.
That's my point. They are erasing their history, so no one's gonna believe slavery ever existed, but they get to put their own tail about
Let's
it.
reverse it then. Let's just say, which movie would you want to watch? Let's do like this. We this is how you hide it. Each slave movie had a year. You'd be like, hey, in 2012, which one of these movies you want to go see? Right? That's how you hide it. And I wouldn't even go with the biggest movies. I'll go with like some very trash, low-rated IMDb rating movies. I won't go for no like Avengers like that. I won't go heavy hitters like that. I'll go with some B-list, C-list movies and say, which one of these movies would you want to go
The
see?
way you attack
Oh my God.
slave movies.
You're not even listening to what I'm saying right now.
You,
You said, how can I get out of this?
I'm saying the way, like, you said, how can we hide this? Like, how can we get rid of the mode, like, to prove the point?
Yes, to prove my
literally
point,
trying to prove the
yes.
But I'm saying the way that you focus on movies about enslaved people is the same way other people focus on getting rid of DEI initiatives. You are locked in and bothered.
No, I'm bothered by the idea of like the oppression porn. As like I don't like it's terrible. It's terrible to watch. Like
I don't like porn. It's but I don't
porn.
go after
Right.
anybody for watching it.
Love me some good porn though.
I don't go after anyone for watching what they watch or enjoying what they like to watch. Like, sure, if all it is like white people are up in it and getting whatever off of watching our trauma. Like, yeah, sure, that's problematic, but at the same time, there's people who are never going to open up a book and learn that way.
I gotta say this. CMDB said enjoyable versus important. That's the thing we're having a discussion with. That's what is happening right now. I think, yes, for y'all are saying it's important. Sure, it's important. But also, movies is not the only avenue. Come on! It's not the only avenue for you to get your history. Because I got excited. That's the disconnect. That's the disconnect.
Who's opening the book?
But that's the disconnect, though.
I read Roots from beginning to end.
Listen, I'm a bookworm. I believe it. But I'm saying, like, a lot of people won't know stuff. There's documentaries out there. There's books out there. There's still some school curriculums out there. Most of the stuff I learned was from being like.
I love that Twilla couldn't wait to get here. Twilla was speeding to get here.
I drove so fast to be like, listen, and found a parking space in the front. I was like, God.
Wow, this is heaven sent.
God wanted me to be
running on all fours.
Packed up my office so fast.
That's great.
But yeah, I think what it is enjoyable and important. And movies is not the only avenue to receive history. Obviously, history comes from people, documents, files, police reports, and is being translated to somebody, the writer, director, editor. So it's always also loosely based off of somebody's perception of it. So if you want to know history, look up the history.
Okay.
Do your research.
I believe that.
However, there's a lot of people. If you don't have a movie on CBS at 8 p.m. that comes on that says, coming to theaters, Get Me Out of Slavery, starring some black person, right? Starring Idris Elba. A lot of people won't even know these things are around because a lot of people don't go looking for education. They don't go looking to learn more about slavery. So it is important to shove things in people's faces. It's important to pass out your flyer because no one's going to know you got a show tonight. You got to get out there and you got to be like, hey, this thing is happening. Oh, you didn't know this happened. Here's what's happening. And you have to put stuff in people's face because people won't be willing to go do their own research. Happens all the time.
CMD said, how many times have you seen John Q versus Training Day? John Q was important. Training Day was enjoyable.
John Q's enjoyable. It's not enjoyable? John Q was dope.
And
John Q was dope.
That's not a great movie?
It's a great movie, but it was important. As in, like, this is how bad the system is of, like, insurance.
I never seen Training Day. I seen John Q like 3 times.
You didn't have to say that. So I'm saying it was important to show, like, this is how, like, we don't give a damn that you don't have insurance. Your son gonna have to die. It's like, nah, my son is not gonna die. Y'all gonna do this. So it was like it was definitely a wake up call. That's my first time actually, because I think it's around the time where I started understanding how insurance worked. And I was like, you ain't got enough money, you ain't got the right, you ain't filled out the right paperwork. Training Day was enjoyable. But this is funny what Spicy said. How about a parody of The Wayans presents Not Another Slave Movie?
It's funny that you say that. I have an entire outline called Not Another Slave Movie.
Oh boy!
But I was also told it wasn't the time.
It wasn't the time?
It wasn't the time.
Let me ask you this, because you, like, important. There's other places where you can go and watch this stuff. Right now, museums are being defunded. And there's museums where all this history is, like the African American Museum. It's probably one of the more recent museums that opened. But then you have, like, the Holocaust Museum. All these various museums. A lot of them right there in D.C. And nationwide, where people go and get history too. But now it's losing like big opportunities at actually having funding and staff and other things like that.
You know what's not ever going anywhere?
What?
Internet.
But internet can block what you get to, and then they're taking
No,
down,
it's not.
They're also taking down a
But
lot
like,
of archival stuff.
If you go to school in Washington, D.C., and you're at elementary school, and you take a field trip to a museum, there's a lot of information in there. But if these museums are gone, these kids are no longer
Why aren't y'all? I hate how stubborn y'all being right now.
What are you talking about?
Listen, the internet is not going nowhere.
You're missing the point here.
Libraries, museum can be burnt down.
Sure.
But I'm sure all the information in those places are on the internet.
So to that point, archivals and archivists with all the internet, the stuff that's up on the internet, a lot of those archivals, especially in the National Archives, are being taken down because it focuses on diversity. Like,
Look
what
it
it
up.
about women.
This got to be
and
April
stuff like
Fool's joke. You're lying.
Look,
no, I'm dead serious. I work in documentary. The National Archivists are very scared about this thing. They are literally taking down swaths of archives that mention anything about women, diversity, or certain things that doesn't uphold an agenda.
Show me
So yes, you can have
Show me a link.
archival. I'll happily send you.
wait. Here's the point. Like, you're a cheesecake fan, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember when you had your first cheesecake?
I don't.
You don't remember. Do you remember how you learned about cheesecake?
Maybe at a restaurant.
Maybe at a restaurant, right? Somebody said, "Oh, we have a cheesecake," right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you tried it, right? But did you know about cheesecake before you knew about cheesecake?
Word of mouth.
You did not know about cheesecake
I did
before you
not.
knew about cheesecake, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of kids who don't know about slavery, who don't know about the Holocaust until you go take them. They don't know what to search for until they learn about it. If you take away these museums, there's nothing there for them to go learn. If you have a teacher, if they take away the mandatory curriculum to learn about slavery, the mandatory curriculum to learn about these things, the mandatory curriculum to learn about what's it called? The when the Americans came over and killed all the natives, the genocide. If it's not mandatory to learn these things, and people can make up their own curriculum because it's in the state's hands, so they go whatever we want them to learn, we can teach them. How are people going to get this information if they don't know what to look for? Especially kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's why defunding the Department of Education is important, because now it's like, hey guys, it's the Wild Wild West of what you want to actually teach children. It's these things that we thought were important, these museums that we have, places that kids can go and learn. If you don't know these things exist, a lot of these field trips are really good for parents who can't go take their kids to museums. So they go like, here's a whole place where there's a ton of information. Now I can go, hey, can we come back here? Can we come back here? But you have to take people to information. That's why presidents go in their campaign. Hey guys, I'm running here. Here's all this information of what I'm doing. Here's what you can do. But you have to go give it. Otherwise, people don't know what they don't know. And they can't go find some information that they don't know about. But those things are insanely important about these the Department of Education getting defunded. Because now it's like, yeah, that happened, but we ain't got to teach it. We don't have to tell the kids what happened here. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. We don't have to teach about slavery and Abraham Lincoln. We can skip this. That's insane.
Yeah.
That they have that choice. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a whole kids' generation of never knowing the civil rights movement.
Right.
And it's because of people like you, Lack.
Sure, but also
That's a joke. That's not people like you.
this is year 2025, meaning the world definitely passed down history a lot longer, further than museums existed. So the word's going to get out. It's still going to happen. Y'all are still stuck on the minuscule, minute version of how history is being told.
No, we're talking about how history gets erased. This is the erasure.
I receive it.
Erasure.
I'll take it.
I think we're
Keep
I
going.
think
You
we're
gotta
in the
lose
same
your thought.
place.
Keep going.
We're in the erasure of history, but this is how stuff gets buried, and this is how it gets erased. And then somebody 1,000 years from now uncover some book somewhere and they go, "Oh man, did you guys know that there was slavery happened here?" But this is the beginning of erasing history. This is the beginning of erasing identity. This is how it happens. You're in the start of it.
I don't think y'all understand how viral people's thoughts are. Toxic and positive, right? So, like I said, the world operated through history a lot farther, faster, wider before museums, before the internet. And y'all talking about like, hey, they're going to shut down these 9 museums.
Also.
All right, Twilla, come on. Come on. I got to pee.
That's why. But you're the person I want to rebuttal. You're the person spitting the toxicity. But to that point,
That's hilarious.
I didn't get to finish my thought. I was like, she's gonna cut me off. Okay, all right.
12. Come have a seat.
Go off, sis.
okay. To your point, Dion, I know you're not even listening, but the idea that, like, first of all, you have oral history that can be passed down is true, but it's not always going to be accurate.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah. So then you talk about like there's books and scrolls that have been written, but then they've also been like translated and things like that. So we don't always have the accurate history, which is always the importance of trying to keep digital files and keeping libraries and museums and actual artifacts.
Especially with a concentrated effort to erase it.
Yeah.
There's an effort to erase it.
Which is very much what you've seen in like Europe during World War II, was like a lot of the Germans were like stealing art or trying to erase certain things and certain facts about just Jewish people in general. But like whenever you have like what's the right word, authoritarian government come in, they attack art first, then they attack school and education, and then they attack anything that you deem as like true or stories, and
Language,
they try to
religion,
that. Yeah.
all those things get taken and stripped. And
Democrats are spineless.
that's why Cory Booker's standing up.
No, it doesn't matter, man. Because I'm saying, I told this last time. No matter what we do, as I told us, we are like first graders. Cory Bookers are like seniors in college. These are people who, this is what they do for a living. They are higher up. They are more knowledgeable. They're like, hey, y'all, what do y'all want to do to stop, Trump? They're like, hey, we are first graders. We want to gather around to help out. They're like, yeah. And then Cory Booker was like, hey, man, all these little grade school people said that y'all should stop this, man. No? All right. Well, I tried to tell them. We had a little time meeting. I'm sorry. I tried my best to stop them. Like, what? All right, let's go.
So that analogy, although I understand it, goes very much so against what the very basic experiment of democracy. It was like, it's in the hands of the people. So first graders are not, educated or not, like you have a say in what you want for your government. Our issue is that we didn't have like necessarily the highest voter turnout. So the people that truly wanted Trump all showed up to vote for him. And it's not a majority of Americans, but it was a majority of the people who voted, turned out to vote. And those were the first graders that came out and said, I voted for Trump. So anyone can exercise their right to do something.
In the 50s. Trump is a whole different monster now.
It is new, yeah.
Like, he's literally talking about, I'm going to change the Congress, the Constitution, I'm going to go for a third term.
Putin did that in 2018. It's not new,
like,
yeah.
You understand? He's changing things. Like, I don't care what y'all saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go for a third term. What y'all going to do?
Teddy Roosevelt went for a third term.
I think you can only do it when you're in war.
Yeah, in wartime. And they put that rule in place because of Teddy Roosevelt. But like, it's new to America. This happens in other governments a lot. But but the very thing is like, you can fight against it. Just because you don't want to, or you're tired, or you don't know how, isn't reason enough for you not to. Like, to understand that people can. There is a world, a lane in which we don't have to go down this road. Like, we don't have to look at the map and say, let's go down this road. We can be like, you know what, this road looks safer. Like, people can make a choice in what they allow.
I'm saying you coming to the law and being stressed out about this. I'm not saying don't fight, but I hear you every single night like, guess what happened? Oh, I'm not trying to turn a blind eye. But when I see how I was all in the first term with Donald Trump, I was all in like, we got to stop this nigga. He got to be impeached. He needs to be this, he needs this, and nothing happened to him. To the point that he got elected again. I said, oh, this nigga's way too powerful. He got everybody in the palm of his hands.
Yeah, but I think and Donald Trump was elected. So the issue isn't Donald Trump, it's the people that elected him. It's the people who are
sheep.
Yeah, people are sheep, or people are actually like, because black people voted for him too, but there's white people who actually feel like their whiteness is being threatened, their way of living and their life is being threatened, and they see like something in Donald Trump and the group of people that support him that can uphold their way of life. So they're not feeling necessarily this panic until they lose their job or lose certain benefits and things like that.
What's the best case scenario?
Best case scenario is that today, I don't know how the votes went, there's a special election that could give Democrats like an edge, like in certain cities today. No, you asked me what was the best. You said what was the best
scenario?
case scenario. So I'm starting from the very beginning. You could get control of the House of Representatives. We have another.
Wait for that. You
Huh?
voted for that.
I'm saying today is special elections in I think 3 key cities that can give Democrats an edge in the House, which will make it hard to get certain rules passed. That's one way. April 5th. There's nationwide protests happening and people like taking the streets in every major city to protest like these actions. Meanwhile, people are boycotting. Like you're hitting pockets,
Right,
you're
hold
making
on,
it uncomfortable.
Stop. When protesting, what can happen from there?
Protesting, it disrupts, it gets the attention of your political leaders, and it could be like, okay, my people really need me to vote for this way. The people are really upset, is pulling attention to the causes that people are talking about, and it could get things, inspire certain things to come to the floor, or at least people to come in and share their thoughts and ideas, like our meetings with the people who change rules and laws.
The good thing about a protest is you're one brick away from a riot.
One brick.
You know what I mean? You're one brick
Setting
away.
it all on fire. Setting it all on fire.
You got to be like, hey guys, let's tread lightly here because these people set this. If you're not careful, everybody relax.
No, that for nothing.
Yeah. But it's so many like little key things. Things are actually happening. Like there's protests happening that moves things in certain ways. There's people who are rebelling. All these lawsuits to counter Donald Trump's thing, that makes it hard for him. He can't necessarily enforce all the things that he's written through executive orders because he's overstepping bounds and things that he's supposed to do.
Listen, please, like, it bothers me of how we spot out all the trash, crazy things Donald Trump does. His parties. When the whole thing with the group chat thing that went out, they didn't blame the person who sent it out. They blamed the guy who exposed it. Now they're trying to fire him for exposing it versus the person who sent out the group chat.
That bothers everybody.
And it's like, he's the idiot for trying to portray our country. I'm like,
If you had
That group chat's hilarious.
you heard about this?
Yeah.
if you had like,
Hey, I slipped in the wrong group chat a time or two. I'm like, oh my bad, this wasn't. I've done it.
if you have a head in the House, like if you have like Congress, now you can start doing like hearings. You can make it really uncomfortable. You can say we need this person impeached. That's why it's important to try to get the majority in the House and the Senate. And then you're going to have elections again next year to get the majority in the House and the Senate. Like there's things that can be done. Those are the things that bother everybody. Watching the news is very bothersome, but if you also watch and follow people who are like, hey, this is a way you can make your voice heard. This is a way. Yeah, sure. I agree. The Democratic Party could do a lot better, but the people can also, like, we've not held people accountable for a long time. And that's what we can do as well.
They're so cliquish, man. You had never heard a Republican talk down another Republican. They are so cliquish. So if somebody does something, they be like, oh, you guys are exaggerating. He said that, but he was being funny.
Let me tell you, these Republicans locked in 2008. The minute black man won,
Yeah,
they locked in.
They've been on a war path.
They've been on war path since. They had a meeting like the day of the inauguration, I believe, or right around that time. They had a small meeting to talk about what are we going to do to get our country back. And they've been and from that meeting started the Tea Party movement. And the Tea Party for a long time was considered like
I forgot about them.
Yeah, they were considered the fringe Republicans. They were extreme Republicans. And they held to their plans so much so, here we are with Project 2025. They held down for years. So you talk about like, what can we do?
Are they still around, the Tea Party?
The Tea Party is like the Heritage Foundation, the people who did the Project 2025. They don't call themselves the Tea Party anymore. They call themselves the Republican Party. They are the main people who took over. And like they got down to business immediately and lockstep.
You remember how far Trump wanted to be away from the Project 25? It's activated right now, right?
Oh yes, they are check marking it out.
And you can't even say, "Hey, you said you was far away from this." He's like, "I never said that."
Right, because people, yeah. He just said I didn't. He said he wasn't aware of anything that was happening. Although it was leaked that he definitely was aware of what was happening. And the people feel that Project 2025 is going to bring us back to wholesome whiteness. Like pretty much is what it.
How can you trust anybody? Just like, hey, I'm not going to increase your rent. I would never do that. No, we are rent safe and locked in. Mm-hmm. It was like, but on the last page it said you're liable every 3 weeks to go up 9%.
Oh,
we're gonna fix
yeah.
that. Just keep voting for me.
Yeah, it's wild.
I never got to it.
It's also wild that to me, like people, like we talk about a Democratic Party versus Republican Party, and whoever like that's part of it. But I think that it's crazy that like a lot of people who vote a certain way are people who are like, yeah, I believe in universal health care. Yeah, I believe in national minimum wage, and I think that there should be like assistance somewhere across the way, and like for people in general. And then you get called liberal for having like views that just like. I just think we should be good people.
Why? What I don't understand is I feel like they're trying to make liberal an insult.
Yeah.
But like you liberals, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Anyways, dog, I feel like there's a lot of things. I've always been like this. There's things that I agree with Democrats, and there's things I disagree, and there's things I agree with Republicans, and there's things I disagree. And I feel like that's not enough of that bipartisan happens. There's too many people who are like, nope, we're all this or all nothing. I'm like, hey, man, if you actually guys did work together and not just kind of control each other. But it's also why I'm not a politics dude. I'm a people guy. I don't shit about politics because they're going to either way. I have to be good. Mm-hmm. I got to make sure that I'm good, that no matter what Trump does, I'm fine. No matter what Biden did, I'm fine. I got to make sure that no matter what, I have to be able to teach my kids and my family the ways that I need to teach them and show them what the real world is. Because if you listen to all these people, they're all have an agenda, and they're all just trying to put the wool over your eyes so they can get what they want out of you. It's not about
power for a lot of these politicians.
And I go like, that's why this education is the most important thing you can ever have. And I don't mean school education, going to school. I mean teaching. Are you coming back in?
I'm like, can you have your seat back?
Oh, I mean the idea of just teaching the truth, searching for the truth, which is out there, and doing it on your own way more than I do trust any kind of government anything. CMD said protesting either gathers awareness from those on the fence that can help or disrupt system of operations. Republicans have talked down on other Republicans.
I mean, Trump said that John McCain wasn't truly a war hero.
That dude is wild. That dude is wild.
Yeah. But here we are.
Hold on a minute. Now you're getting muddy waters because people say the same thing about the Bible, written by man, stories passed down, transcribed. Well, it is. It's exactly what happened to the Bible.
They were translated, and some translations were trash.
Yeah, some translations are trash.
And they were used to oppress people. I'm the biggest Christ follower here, but I can recognize that there have been some issues throughout. Like certain,
it's been some rewrites.
Yeah, to benefit, like people use religion as tools of oppression. So it's been kind of disgusting with what we do with faith and religion.
So you got to get to know God on your own. People don't talk to him. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk to him.
Yeah.
What's up, G?
And like really study. Like,
what's up, Big G?
You don't study run translation. You don't just say this is the. What do you mean by that? What was the context? Like you really got to study the Bible. Like if that's what you go by, you got to study multiple translations in the historical context as well.
I read something the other day, or maybe I watched it on. It was talking about the verse, the "Turn the Other Cheek," and it was saying that you had to take that time into context, because I guess they say when you greeted somebody, you kissed them on the right cheek, but there was a cheek that you weren't allowed to slap someone on. Or assault them. You can only slap, I guess, like on one side. So if you turn the other cheek, it meant that that person was unable to harm you instead of letting them slap you.
So like protect your neck.
Yeah, it was more of a turn it this way, so then they'd be like,
Can't slap, yeah.
But I don't know how much of that is true. I didn't look at the
that's interesting.
The era or the time of the of the guy. I just remember seeing the video and then
turn on the cheek.
I can't slap him on the cakes.
That's funny.
But things like that, biblically, I'm like, it's important to take a lot of those, things into context. So they do get translated, and you go like, man, I don't know what the original text was. I'm still saying this. Did Jesus never write anything down?
He was so busy healing people.
But he never was like, dear diary, let me get this off.
He had the people.
I'm sure there's got to be a book of Jesus somewhere.
He had the people. Listen, I'm tired. I've been praying. I've been walking.
Obama wrote his own book. Not saying he's Jesus. I'm just saying he's a busy guy. He wrote a book.
Not while he was in office.
No, he didn't. He's got to be writings of him somewhere. That's what bothers me. I'm like, he's had to wrote something down about what's happening. Parables, all this other stuff. He's just like, John, you getting this? I'm talking. You getting this?
Right.
Mark.
Please write this down.
Get over here. Philip. I don't know how many were actually. Anyways. Preacher going to heaven and being like, oh, this place nice as hell. He's like, all right, gave you a chance. No.
Oh, hell, you want to be there?
No, I just meant as nice as heck. Jesus. Hey, you guys are particular up here. Oh, my goodness.
That's hilarious.
That's it, folks. Yeah. You going to do the rap? I'll do the beat. Thank you guys so much for watching the episode of Like and Chaz. You know what I mean?
Come on, Brooke.
Thank you guys so much for watching the episode of Like and Chaz.
No, check, please.
Come on, do you mind?
I don't even, I drew a blank.
Give us some more?
Do you mind if I give you some more?
Yes, please.
I got nothing.
Come on, Twilla. Fight it.
Give me the words. I need them in front of me. Where are the lyrics?
Just make up something.
Hey, it's Twilla. On the ones and twos, 1 second.
She said, hey. Hey.
It's me. Yeah.
I can't do it. You already know I can't do it. Boy, after you've said each line.
Right. Dion, just have if the lyrics were here, I would do it.
You do the beatbox, okay?
Hold on. Can I pull one up?
No, you have to do the beatbox.
This is stressful.
Just do the beatbox.
Nobody told me I had to work.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching the episode of Like and Chaz.
No, check please.
Do you mind if I give it some more?
Yes, please.
A lot of laughs you kick up in this podcast. Typed in XD, you know what I mean, the live stream. I don't know the words either. But that beatbox was one note and it was flat. It was like, oh, Jesus. Oh.
This was my best.
I don't know the words either. Type in XD, high key the live stream. 777 the next B.
Something about elbows on Wesley. Dion's so mad at us.
That's all I know. Chaz Rogers from Lansing.
That's right.
And don't forget me, Dion Lack from Dayton. What'd you say?
I'm my coach. EMT. I guess we
paid some of the bills. So give us
another
check please.
We got to the end.
Booyaka!
Spicy knows it.
Type in XD is highly the live stream. Not quite.
Type in
it's
XD
mostly a positive concept. We tend to get darker than elbows on West. Are you watching it and then transcribing?
That's funny.
Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching the episode. Appreciate y'all. What else is there? Oh, April 11th through the 13th, I am in Denver, Improv with Shantae Waynes. You can check me there. And then, what else? Anything else we need to talk about? April 14th. Dion Lack.
At the Ice House?
At the Ice House.
Nope.
Oh. April 14th. It's a Monday, I think. Sunday.
April 14th. I will be at the Fuego Bar and Grill in Victoria.
Fuego.
And then April 12th, I will be at the Ice House.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
April 11th, we have a show here at Lactose.
Oh. Yeah.
I have another show at Aha Cafe.
Man, it's working.
Come on, like out here back in these streets, baby. 2012 all over again. 2010? What years are we out? That sounds about right.
That's probably
2010, 11, somewhere around there. Yeah. All right, y'all.
exciting.
Appreciate y'all, man. And good day. Good day. You got a catchphrase you said at the end? Anything?
Zip up it.
It's me.
Okay.